I caught my pastor having sex with two other male pastors on our matrimonial bed, and I was completely terrified and petrified. I drove back home unexpectedly only to see my husband, who is also the pastor of our church, in a very hot sex marathon with two other friends of his who are also pastors with very large churches. I was completely shocked and awestruck. And for about 30 seconds, I watched these grown-up men folded themselves and passionately penetrated each other with so much passion. I was completely too shocked to say the least and to describe the scene that I saw. At a glance, I thought I was hallucinating. But when the reality dawned on me, it then occurred to me that everything that I saw was real and true. My husband is a pastor to a very large congregation, and he is highly respected by all rank and file. He's not only known in our region or province, in fact, he's known in the entire country, and I can confidently say that he's also an internet darling pastor because his preachings are everywhere on all social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, just name them. We have been married for quite a long time, and biologically, we have 3 children together, though we have adopted so many other children in our house. So when you come to our house, it is full of children. I loved my husband, and I have so much respect for him. I could confidently say that he's a very good father to all our children, both biologically and those that we have adopted. And he has been an amazing husband to me as well. In fact, I lack nothing material. We have traveled to so many countries, and I was a very happy wife, but all that changed about 5 years ago when I unexpectedly got home without my husband's knowledge, only to see the most bizarre sight of my life. And after that incident, I have discovered quite a lot more and unspeakable things about my husband, and now I want to leave the marriage. But I do not know what would be my reasons for leaving, since I do not have any evidence of what I am accusing my husband of. In the year 2020, my husband drove my children and me to the airport in order to travel to another part of our country to spend some time with my mom because our children were on holidays for their long vacation. It was something that we did almost every year. My children and I would travel to spend some months with my parents when they were on holidays, because that was the only period that all the children were home, and they always look forward to this vacation because of how well my mom pampered them with her delicious traditional meals and traditional storytelling. But on this day, after my husband dropped us at the airport, it was then that I realized that I forgot to pack the first aid box for one of my sons who had severe asthma. So I started calling my husband in order to bring the first aid box to the airport. I called my husband several times, but he didn't answer his phone. I know for sure that I couldn't travel without my son's first aid box, because if his asthma attack happens without his medications, he can die. So I decided to go back home to pick the first aid box. Fortunately, our house is just about an hour drive from the airport, so I quickly got into a taxi, and when I got into the house, I realized that there were 2 cars parked on the compound. I immediately realized that my husband had visitors. But when I got to the hall, nobody was there. So I quickly went upstairs to grab the first aid box from my son's room. Then when I was approaching our bedroom, I heard people making sexual noises. They were moaning and groaning, and immediately I said to myself, "Oh, so my husband has brought a woman into our matrimonial home to have sex with her just a few hours after leaving?" But when I got closer and opened the door, what I saw was more than cheating with a woman. My husband was passionately fondling two other men, and they were fondling each other back, and they were also kissing each other passionately, and they were entering each other passionately sexually. They were so involved that they didn't see that I had been standing there for about 1 minute. So I tiptoed downstairs gently, sat in the taxi, and went back to the airport. When the vacation was over and I came home, our marriage life was never the same again. My husband realized that I had changed towards him and wanted to know if everything was okay. And I said yes, but deep down, I was going crazy and hating inside. How can my husband and a pastor betray me like this? In fact, how could he do this in our own home and on our matrimonial bed? How could he? And for how long has this been going on? Those were some of the thoughts that were going through my mind. 2 years after that incident, one of the pastor's wives sent me a text message telling me that she caught my husband and her own husband in their house having sexual intercourse and wanted to know if I was aware that they were involved sexually. Of course, I wanted to protect my husband's image and integrity, so I denied knowing anything about it. It was after receiving that text message from the other pastor's wife that it dawned on me that these men might have been involved for a very long time, and maybe we were now discovering their secrets. But strangely, 2 days after receiving that text message from the other pastor's wife, she was found drowned in their swimming pool in their house, and that was how the chapter of anybody knowing about my husband and hers were closed forever. After the death of the other pastor's wife, I began to get so scared of my own life as well because my husband never even asked me anything concerning the text message that the other pastor's wife sent me. And well, I couldn't even tell whether he was aware that she had even sent me a message or not. Then last year, I started having so much infections which I treated multiple times. Whenever my husband traveled for about a month, I realized that the infections would completely stop. But as soon as he came back and we got intimate again, then boom, the infections came back. I still didn't want to ask my husband whether he was having an affair because I already saw it with my own eyes. And I felt that the only way that I could protect myself from more infection was to mix the medicine with the food that he was taking. And that was how I was able to stop the infection from happening in my home. But just when I thought I had solved one problem and was managing my marriage the best way that I could, I caught my husband again with that security man and his driver sexually busy in our bedroom again. This time around, before I could run away, the security man saw me, though my husband didn't. Whether the security man told him that I saw them or not, I cannot say. But strangely, my husband didn't ask me anything about what his driver and the security were doing. I have also not approached him with any questions, but we woke up one day and news that reached us was that the lifeless body of the security man was found in his room when he was off duty. What happened to him? Well, I do not know up to this day. Then strangely, my husband told me later that the driver has also stopped his work because he got another job elsewhere. I tried to call the driver several times, but his phone has since been switched off. It has been over 1 year and the driver's phone is still off. Whether he's still alive or not, I do not know. I am scared. I am petrified, and I do not know whether my husband is aware that I know about his hidden secrets. I have never confronted him, and I have also not asked him anything about his sexual encounters with these friends of his who are also pastors. I am currently living in fear, and I am afraid of the unknown. Should I confront him and subsequently ask for divorce, or should I just keep quiet and live quietly with him since he has not asked me anything about what I know? Right now, I cannot tell whether he's aware that I know about his sexual encounters with these pastors or not. My only fear is that if I approach him and he gets angry, he might do something very horrible to me. I am really scared, and my life right now is like a living bomb which could explode at any time. What exactly should I do? What exactly should I do, because I am so afraid? I recently confided in my mom about the whole situation, and she said she's sure my husband is not aware that I know so much about his secrets, so I should just act along and live a normal marriage life with him. She also mentioned that I should not mention anything concerning what I know to him, because the moment he gets to know that I know so much about his secret, he could do something horrible to me. But the truth is that I'm unable to love this man like I used to, and I want to leave the marriage. But I am also scared that he might ask me my reasons for my divorce, which I cannot give him. Mind you, he's a very powerful minister, and I am aware he knows very powerful people in high places. So I know messing up with him might come with some consequences as well. So, what exactly should I do now? If I ask for divorce from him, what exactly will be my reason for the divorce? Because I do not have any evidence of what I know about him. Please, I need help. What exactly do I do in this situation? And now, our word for this story. Our word for this story is affright. Affright means a situation that is filled with fear and dread, or a situation that causes an overwhelming feeling of fear and anxiety. Guys, what advice do you have for this worried lady? Can you leave your views and your thoughts in the comment section, and please do well to subscribe to the channel and kindly watch my other videos as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It's bye.